يا أعزائي المشاهدين، أنا بشوي فهيم، وأنا النهاردة بقدم لكم برنامج جديد اسمه عربي مكسر. البرنامج ده هيتكلم على مشاكل بتوع الشباب، والنهاردة معانا كريس officer. Hi Chris, how are you today?
Good, how are you? Very good.
قبل ما نبتدي البرنامج هنتفرج على فيديو بيتكلم عن المخدرات، والناس بتحاول تسرق المخدرات. هنتفرج على فيديو نمبر 1 right now. دخل الزخانة للصيدلي وهو بيفتح من باب خلفي غير الباب اللي هو للكاستمرز، فكان بيفتح بدري شوية ومراقبه، فأول ما فتح دخل هدده كتفه في الأرض، وبقى ينط عليه، يعني يعدي عليه يعني برجليه عشان يجيب الدواء من هنا ومن هنا لحد ما، وقبل ما يمشي كان جه زبون فشاف الموقف يعني، والراجل هرب بس اتمسك يعني الجاب. زي ما شفتوا في ناس بتحاول تسرق المخدرات، والمخدرات دي يعني حد يسمع كلمة مخدرات يعني دي حاجة وحشة، بس مش دايما حاجة وحشة. كريس النهارده هيتكلم معانا. انت اول حاجة كريس عايز اسألك، انت بتعمل ايه في شغلتك؟
I'm a police officer, and I've been a police officer for 20 years. And what I mainly do is I go out and I patrol the areas and make sure, just like what the video that you showed, it's يعني بتحصل كل يوم. ناس بتسرق حاجات كتير especially المخدرات, because what they do is بعد ما يسرقوها بيبيعوها عشان because they have an addiction, they have a problem that they need help with.
الادكشن دي على طول يعني مشاكل دي بتشوف دي on a day to day basis.
Yeah, the addiction بنشوفها كل يوم because في ناس كتير تعبانة وعندها نفسيتها تعبانة, and so people are afraid to deal with reality. So what they do is they take the drugs, because then the drugs kind of subdues the hurt inside their heart. And not only do we see it, يعني a lot of times يقولوا بس الأمريكان عندهم المشاكل دي, but المشاكل دي بترجع تاني عند كنيستنا وعيالنا in our family. And so it's an epidemic that we need to cure.
ايه حاجة يعني بتعملها in your job that sorry, ايه حاجة انت عملتها بتعملها في شغلانك بتاعتك بتساعدك ان تقرب عن ربنا؟ يعني في حاجة, do you use moral values in your job? Or,
you know, to me it's just it's very important that as a police officer I have the ability to take people in certain directions, and it depends on my judgment what the outcome of these people's future is going to be. Now, يعني to me I always بحب نرجع الناس تاني لربنا, because ultimately, you know, الناس تعبانة and we need to bring them back to Christ. And so I take my position as a police officer to teach them. And maybe they don't know they're going down the wrong road. Maybe I can sit there and talk to them. Maybe I spend another 10, 15 minutes with them to let them see what their problem is and if I could help them. I'm a little different than a normal police officer.
Yeah.
Normal police officers take them to jail, put them in jail, do all this, and that's fine. But with me, you know, Amba Karas from St. Anthony really instilled in me the love and hope for people, and to really use my job as a tool to bring them back to Christ, and that's what I do.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's what we need. مع انك انت راجل طيب, بس انا حاسس nervous, you know, because I have an officer next to me.
You know, nervousness is always common, but truly, don't be nervous. You know, as a police officer, I don't bite. My goal is, number one, is to be a servant of God, and I love serving, and that's my number one thing. And even as you know, in law enforcement, that's my focus is to serve, to bring big people back to Christ.
Can you tell us some stories that يعني حاجات حدوتة يعني حصلت لك في الشغل خلتك تتغير in your personal life?
You know, there's a lot of interesting stories that are out there that happened to me, and every one God has taught me something. And I was helping a young man that lived in motels that was on drugs, and unfortunately he didn't listen. And every day I would tell him, hey, be careful, you shouldn't be using drugs, you shouldn't be using drugs, and let me help you, get you back in the rehab center. And as he was crossing the street, he was high on marijuana.
Oh no.
And he got hit by a car, and he died actually in my arms.
Oh no.
And so I tell you, people think marijuana isn't, it's not bad, it's bad. And especially nowadays, not only the marijuana, they have some of the different herbs that people smoke now that actually like K2, butterfly, spice.
في اسامي زي دي في
Oh yeah,
بالعربي؟
they're in the tobacco stores, but they're deadly.
لا انا قصدي يعني الاسامي اللي قلتها دي في يعني ترجمة للعربي ولا
No, that's
عشان نعرف الناس؟
yeah. If I don't know the butterfly, just that's what they call it in the tobacco shops. يعني
Okay.
فراشة.
بس I don't think
I don't
بيقولوا عليها
know.
فراشة هنا.
So, but there's a lot of stuff that's out there that's really bad for our kids, and it's coming into our churches. So يعني الناس العيال اللي برا بتستعملها، الناس جوا هتستعملها كمان. So.
في حاجة عايز تنصحها للشباب بعد يعني انت بعد ما شفت الشاب ده مات في ايدك حسيت عايز يعني عندك جول من بعد اليوم ده حسيت عندك هدف؟
You know, it's been always my goal when I first started police because, you know, I came a part of my life, like I said, I went to the St. Anthony Monastery and I sat down with Emba Karas, and he's the one that guided me, and he's the one that gave me my cross that I never, this is the cross that he gave me as he ordained me as a deacon. And I never leave home without it.
Yeah.
And for several years now. And so ever since then, he's instilled in me to be finding the lost sheep. And ever since then, I have not stopped looking for the lost sheep. And I continue looking for the lost sheep. And then that's why I started the Christ program. And even now that I instill into my police work, when I deal with gangsters, parolees, any type of a person that people look at him as a bad person, I try to instill something of God in them. And a lot of times what I'll tell them is, if you know the Lord's Prayer. And most of them don't know it. And I said, do you want to know it? And they say, well, yeah, I want to know, because they want to get out. But I tell it to them, and they write it down on their own and say he learns it. And that's one thing he needs to think about to come back to Christ, to know what he's doing wrong.
That sounds like a good idea.
It's very exciting, and I tell you, people see the passion and see what your heart, but you have to lead by examples. And that's what I tell the parents too. You have to lead by example. If you expect your kid not to use drugs, then you know you shouldn't drink, you shouldn't smoke, because then the kids look at you.
Right.
You know, a lot of times I see parents saying, "Well, my kid smokes marijuana." Then I look at the parent; they're smoking, you know, el shisha, el hookah, whatever you want to call it.
That's one of the issues beside the self-esteem and other
Right,
issues.
and a lot of times our kids have problems, and if they come home like the typical Middle Eastern family, you know, shib biti, hagat biti, and the kids going, oh, do I really want to say this again? Do I really want to talk to my parents? And so we have to learn how to talk to our kids, and I think it's going to be very successful if you're able to do
احنا
that.
عايزين نعمل talk show just how to talk to your kids.
Oh, I tell you, it's
يعني دي حاجة المفروض يعني نتكلم عليها.
it's very important.
أنا عايزك تشرح شوية بالعربي المكسر على كرايست بروجرام بتاعك ده، يعني تقول لي إيه هو كرايست بروجرام. بس قبل ما نتكلم على كرايست بروجرام هناخد مكالمة. هلو، مين معانا؟
Yes.
هلو.
Yes, it's Warner.
Hey Warner. Do you speak Arabic مكسر or English?
No, English only.
Okay, English only. Okay, do you have a question concerning drugs? Do you have a story to tell, or what's your call about?
No, I just wanted to know about the Coptic religion, when and how it came into Egypt.
The Coptic religion. Can you share anything about that?
It came through St. Mark. St. Mark was one of the apostles, and he came to St. Mark, and he brought the Bible to Egypt, and it went through the discipleship through there.
So he came very early.
Yeah.
after the death of Christ.
Yes. Actually, if you want to look up more about the Coptic religion, you can go to copticsat.tv, and you can email them anything, and or try to contact them. They'll probably help you out, or there's information on there.
Okay.
Are you still with me, Warner?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your call.
Thank you.
I hope that you learn more about Coptic. You know, being a Christian, it's hard. But I think being a Coptic Orthodox Christian is even harder.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Like
And
the devil fights you more.
well, I think being a Christian, period, and believing in God, the devil fights you. You know, we have our share of problems, especially the persecution that's going on. But truly, it's always easy to do the wrong thing. It's
Yeah.
always hard to do the right thing. And so, you know, but doing the right thing is number one, because we truly want to make people understand that today we're here, tomorrow we're not. And who can secure, يعني مين ممكن يخلي عايزين حياتنا مع ربنا and our salvation. And if you don't secure your salvation, what do you have? يعني
فيش حاجات يعني فيش ناس كتير يعني هدفها في الحياة يعيشوا مع ربنا، يعني هدفهم يعيشوا مع ربنا هنا دلوقتي وبس، مش حاسين هيروحوا حتة بعد الحياة دي. فصعب الواحد يتخيل انه يموت يبقى دي حاجة كويسة، يعني هدفه عشان يموت يقابل ربنا.
An example I would give you is في واحد من الأمريكان preachers that قال القصة دي. أنت ما you know when your mom was pregnant ما كنت حامل بيك.
أنا كنتش فاكر.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
imagine thinking that you're in your mom's wound. جوه بطن أمك for how long? 9 months. Did you really كنت عارف في حد برا بيستنيك؟ No, you didn't know. You're inside, you're comfortable, you're happy. قاعد بتاكل وبتشرب and everything's perfect in your mom's wound. And then the day comes that you come out. And then بتشوف ناس, wow, there's a lot of people here. People are waiting for me. It's the same thing. So we're going to take this clothes off and we're going to move on to the next chapter of our life. And that's truly something that I always tell people, especially عيال بكلمهم, that you're here temporary. Just like you were in your mom's wound. Right now you're on earth for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to have to go into the next level. So be ready for it.
I really like that. Like and has it's very touching. Like it makes sense. It's good relevance to the afterlife. كلمني شوية على الكرايست program.
You know the
هو
Christ.
امتى ابتدى يعني؟
The Christ program began ابتدى 2000. And I started the Christ program بالناس في الشوارع. And to learn from them and to نعرف العيال بتستعمل مخدرات ليه، مالهم في البيت, what's going on, what causes the problem، واشوف المشاكل بتاع البيت ايه. Then I realized, you know, through my father's confession, Abuna Philemon, and my spiritual fathers, Abuna Anastasi from St. Anthony, and Abuna Shinda from St. Anthony as well. With their guidance, I was able to نعملها عشان نساعد عيالنا في الكنيسة, because I've noticed, you know, as a police officer I could go in بشوف الناس كتير, بشوفهم يعني في حد بعرف على طول عندهم مخدرات. I know they're under the drugs. And they could tell by their eyes, by their demeanor, the way they carry themselves. So as I was going to church, I could see there's problem children. And I would bring this up to the priest. But what really resources could I give? I could point out the problem, but I don't have a solution. So my goal was to start the Christ program so I could help the priest, al-usus, deal with the problem and get them back on the right road and help them get the kids back into Christ.
How did you find them in the street? Was it part of your job, or did you take part of your life? يعني خدت وقت من حياتك وقعدت تدور عليهم.
You know, it's يعني ربنا ادالي blessing دي, because I deal with them. They come to me. I see them. I go on calls. So تعلمت منهم. And كل التعليم ده اللي خدته, I presented it back to the church so I could help the kids. Because when you tell them that you're a police officer and you want to help them, they really want help. الناس غلابة, تعبانين, عايزين مساعدة, عايزين حنية, عايزين محبة. And unfortunately ما عندهمش ده في البيت. And that's the reason why, you know, الناس اللي بتستعمل مخدرات or بتخش gangs. Usually you ask the kid that's been in a gang member, هيقول لك أنا ما عنديش حنية الأب بتاعي. So بدور عليها. So he joins the gang because he goes after the older guy to show the love and affection. And there's a lot of things that happen at home, the foundation بتاع البيت. And truly الكنيسة مش بتبتدي في الكنيسة، بتبتدي في بيتك.
واحنا بس يعني انا مش قادر يعني اتخيل عشان من اصحابي ان شباب من Orthodox Church برضه عندهم مشاكل زي كده. شفت من كنيستنا برضه.
I deal with it every single day. I mean, I have kids that عيال بتعمل حاجات مش كويسة and ماشية مع عيال مش كويسة. And this is what I tell them. يعني a pigeon flies with a pigeon. Do you ever see a pigeon fly with an eagle? No. Or do you see an eagle flying with a seagull? No. You see a pigeon مع pigeon, فرخة مع فرخة, بطة مع بطة. So you become your friend. If انت ماشي مع واحد مش كويس وماشي مع واحد عنده مخدرات هتكون ايه؟ هتكون زيه. So my goal to them is you gotta evaluate مين صحابك. وصحابك دي is gonna because ساعات يعلموك I could tell, you know, some of our kids they hang around with different cultures. And I could tell ازاي بيكلموا. And the way they talk, I could tell you hang around with this kind of crowd. How'd you know that? I said, because the way you talk. Because people that we like, we mimic. And I mean, that's easy to find out.
I hope I'm mimicking the right people here. Like I'm starting to look at you and ببص عليك يعني شوف انت شايفني زي ايه يعني. فانا مركز.
I see you as a nice man.
أنا راجل كويس. Okay, good.
Nice man. God bless you, حبيبي.
Thank you.
God bless you.
احنا معانا مكالمة دلوقتي. الو. الو مين معايا؟
أنا بنت الرب.
بنت الرب. انت منين بنت الرب؟
كاليفورنيا.
كاليفورنيا. عايزة تقولي كلمة حاجة عن المخدرات؟
لا أنا عايزة أسأل سؤال لضيفك.
لكريس.
أيوة. إزاي أعرف إن ابني أو بنتي ابتدوا يدخلوا في موضوع المخدرات؟ يعني عايزة أعرف early قبل ما المشكلة تحصل يعني، أو هم ابتدوا يعملوا حاجة زي كده. فإيه الخطوات يعني اللي تبان عليهم أو الحاجات اللي تبان عليهم؟ وكمان ليه طلب عنده، هو كان معاه صليب جميل قوي، يا ريت ما يحطوهوش مقلوب في جيبه، يحطه معدوم وما يزعلش منه. اوكي؟
اوكي.
اوكي، ثانك يو.
ثانك يو بنت الرب. هي كانت بتسأل ايه يعني ايه حاجات تشوفها هي في البيت يعني او مثلا في عيالها وشها هدوم.
There's a lot of
عايزة tips.
Yeah, no worries, and thank you for your call. And this is يعني الأول, this is the same question كل الأم والأب بيسألوها. إزاي نعرف ابني بيستعمل مخدرات؟ Mom knows the best. يعني الاتيتيود بتاعه، لبسه، أكله، مش بينام كتير. An example is يعني the parents have to educate themselves to figure out what the symptoms of drugs. زي marijuana. الماريجوانا بتفتح نفسهم، بياكلوا كتير قوي وخلين عينيهم احمر. And then يكون عندهم just like يعني بيضحكوا كتير، ما فيش حاجه بتضحك بس بيضحكوا anyways. These are all symptoms. And as a mom you need to be aware of that. And different other drugs بيخس كتير or بيجي له حبوب كتير على وشه or قاعد تملي يعني بيهرش نفسه. And this is the signs of methamphetamine. So there's different signs, but it depends how old your son and daughter is and what to look for. I've seen مخدرات دلوقتي بتخش في elementary school and it's an epidemic. And so you have to be aware anything that changes behavior should be a warning flag. Now because الولد بياكل كتير you have to look at it. بيعمل exercise so because he eats the refrigerator.
Yeah, أنا خايف يعني مثلا أنا خايف برضه أنا بهرش كتير فأنا ما أعرفش ماما هتفكر لما هتقول.
But typically يعني especially العينين what I look for is the eyes. And the eyes, the pupils, and this is what we teach in the Christ program. We teach the parents what to look for, and we show them how to do it, and because now they're able to do it. But I mean, there's a whole bunch of different warning signs that parents know. And الأم والأب عندهم حساسة في قلبهم that they know ما يكون ابنهم وابنتها ماشيين in the wrong road. So if you have that sense, what I would say is contact us and let us help you and evaluate. We sit down and come in and help you. And Christ program comes to your home and we sit down with the parents and figure out what's going on.
How does a Christ program ازاي ال Christ program هو ناس يعني تيم شغالة يعني بيدفعوا لهم فلوس ولا service؟
No, it's a free service, and you have to go through your father confession because we work out of the diocese of the Coptic Orthodox Diocese, and basically you contact your father confession or the priest of the church, and then he contacts me, and then we make an appointment to come down and sit with him. And as far as my cross, it's because it's been so old, it's half of it's broken, and I don't want to break it because it came from a very valuable man that I love so much.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was a little funny. Just pointing that out. احنا معانا ثاني مكالمة. مين معايا؟ Hello?
Hello, this is Jean.
Hi, Jean.
Yeah,
Where are you from,
I'm-
Jean?
Where am I from?
Like California?
Yes, I'm from California, Santa Ana.
Oh, hi, Jean.
Hi, and I want to congratulate you on your program. And my question is, what do you think as a young man, or what are the people thinking? Do you think if we legalize marijuana, that is going to cause afterwards, later on, that they'll start legalizing more powerful drugs?
I personally want to know.
Yeah, my concern is if you legalize it, then you should see what the effects of marijuana does. And a lot of our kids are going out stealing because they don't have a job yet, and they go out steal. And a lot of this marijuana, there's research that has been done that it links back to schizophrenia. And so we're having a lot of kids that smoke this marijuana now, not from the natural source, because the THC levels nowadays is 40% and above. And so you're talking about really potent marijuana. And there's three types of marijuana. There's body, it affects the body. The other one affects the mind. And you got the hybrid, which affects both. So the dangers are there. And you could talk to a lot of the physicians in the emergency rooms that will tell you a lot of our kids are coming in with heart conditions. I mean, marijuana now is elevating their pulse, their heart rate. A lot of kids are having heart attacks from first-time use. And so legalizing it, we're just asking for more problems. And truly, what we should do is really find out the source of the problem, why our kids are using it. Instead of legalizing, let's figure out the cure to figure out what's going on, help our kids build their self-esteem, help our kids really work their problems out instead of trying to suppress them using any type of narcotic. So to me, legalizing it is going to be the biggest deficit or biggest problem that I see in our state. But then again, our state's making money. If they legalize it, then they're going to tax it. And so on whose expense? On our kids' expense. That's the problem that I see a lot is we really want to value our kids and really teach them. Again, it comes from the home. Teach them what do these drugs really do. And a lot of times our parents are too busy. عندهم شغلهم وعندهم يعني كتير حاجات. So they don't spend the quality time. And I tell parents, when was the last time قعدتوا مع بعض تكلتوا مع بعض زي عيلة? Everybody has different schedules. والشيطان بيخش في البيت. So what I ask is, find out, sit together at least once a week. Be a family. And it's so important to be a family. Because without that family environment, the kids are just going to go outside and meet a friend that they build a bond with, and then they trust. Even though the friend's going in the wrong direction, but they hear what they want to hear. يعني, I tell you, some of the kids من الكنيسة بتاعتنا, their mom and dad don't tell them they love them. أو مش بياكلوا مع بعض, or مش بيحسوا الحنية. So if they don't get it at home, what are they going to do? They have to go outside and get it somewhere. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be taken care of. So I caution the state if they legalize it. I see this happening all the time, and I see the kids going out stealing just to get the drugs. And if we legalize it, then it's just going to be a really big epidemic, and it's going to be pretty sad. I mean, there's reasons why there's laws, and the laws are here to protect us.
Yes. Thank you, Jean, for your call. We're going to show another video. It's kind of funny, so we can lighten up the mood. بالعربي مكسر. We can show the second video right now.
أو يجيب روشتة دفتر روشتات نفسه سرقه من الدكتور، معاه روشتة ويكتب هو اللي عايزه ويجي تملي اللي بنعرفها بيجي في منطقة تانية، يعني احنا لو ساكنين مثلا نقول في اورنج كاونتي، هو يجي مثلا من LA او يجي من حتة بعيدة خالص، ويجي يصرف روشتة ويجي في ويك اند، او يجي والزخانة بتقفل عشان ما تلحقش، او بالليل تلحقش تعمل فيريفيكيشن للدكتور، يعني تتأكد ان الروشتة دي مكتوبة باسم الدكتور الله. فبيبقى معروف من شكله ومن الطريقة اللي داخل اللي جايب بيها الروشتة. فمعظم الأحيان بنعرف الدكتور الروشتة دي إذا كانت مكتوبة.
الفيديو ده كان راجل فارماسيست كان بيتكلم عن المخدرات، وفي ناس بتحاول تضحك على الفارماسيست، بس هم عارفين طريقة الشباب اللي عايزين ياخدوا المخدرات دي، فما يقدروش يضحك عليهم. البرنامج قرب يخلص دلوقتي. انا عايز اسال كريس سؤال تاني. ايه ممكن شباب زينا نقدر نعمله عشان نحط ايدنا في حاجات زي البروجرام بتاع الكرايست بروجرام ده، او في حاجة تانية ممكن نعملها زي نجيب شباب تانية نعمل البروجرام بتاعنا؟ او
I would say عايزين كل مساعدة. We truly need all the help because أنا ما أقدرش أعملها وحدي, and my team is a small team, يعني مش كبير. So we need a lot of volunteers, but لازم تكون إيه 4 things that I ask to help join us. And the 4 things is who your father confession is, when was the last time you went, and second is taking communion, fasting and praying. Because truly I say, يعني بقول للناس, if your credit card you don't make the payments, can you charge? ممكن تحط أكتر عليه؟
no, it doesn't work.
So we want كل الصلوات بتاع الناس to count. We want a good credit card. We want to be good with God. Because ازاي هتروح انت هتساعد حد وانت مش ماشي في الطريق مظبوط؟ يعني if رحت ساعدت الولد هيقول لك ايه؟ ما انا شفتك بتعمل الحاجات دي.
صح.
وازاي هتساعده؟ عشان هيضربك على ايه؟ على الوجع بتاعك. So أول لازم you have to get healed and you have to be on the right road because you are going to be an example. يعني أنت هتكون an example for this kid because we're really imaging Christ. So if you walk in the right road and you do just like يعني ربنا ده جميل قوي وجاب لنا قديسين كتيرة قوي to relate to us. You could guarantee if you look, you could find a saint that matches your lifestyle. And you can see how they turned their life back into Christ. And that's truly what we want to do. And so if you really want to help, I'll take the help. But first you have to make sure your house is clean before you go clean somebody else's house.
يعني افهموا منك يعني انا بعمل سيرفيس هنا في القناة دي، فلازم يعني اروح الكنيسة قبل ما اروح الكنيسة واتناول وابقى مع ربنا الاول، يعني ابقى كرايست الاول قبل ما. فده كلام صح ومنطقي. يعني عندنا مكالمة تانية مع من ايفات. الو ايفات.
الو، هاي يا بشوي.
هاي ايفات، عاملة ايه؟
الحمد لله نشكر ربنا. انا بتصل اشكركم قوي على البروجرام الحلو ده، لانه فعلا بيهتم بمشكله كبيره انتشرت قوي اليومين دول. ربنا معاكم وكيب جوينج على البرامج الحلوه دي، واذكرونا دايما في صلواتكم. كمان مهم قوي ان الاهل يعرفوا ازاي يتعاملوا مع اولادهم لما يعرفوا ان هو ابنه مثلا بقى مدمن، بقى بتاع مخدرات، بقى حاجات زي كده. اهم حاجه ان الاهل يحتضنوا ابنائهم او اطفالهم، ان هم ما يتعبهمش، ما يضايقوهمش، ما يعملهمش ستريس اكتر ما هم بيبقوا الشخص المدمن بيبقى فيه في الستريس اللي هو فيه. فشكرا خالص ليكم.
شكرا يا بيت، كلامك صح. انا عجبني كلامك يا بيت.
شكرا. وربنا معاكم وكملوا كده دايما في البرامج الحلوه دي.
شكرا يا بيت. تابعيني على طول كل يوم 4 الساعة 2:30. لا عربي مكسر. أنا عايز أقول يعني آسف عشان العربي بتاعي مش بالظبط، فأنا I switch to English once in a while.
العربي بتاعك مكسر، يعني مكسر جامد.
Okay, good. شكرا يا أعزائي المشاهدين. بليز تابعونا كل يوم 4 الساعة 2:30 ل 3:30. وأنا عايز أشكر كريس برضو.
God bless you. Thank you.
وإن شاء الله ممكن نشوفك تاني.
God willing.
Okay, thank you.